Good afternoon. Am I audible or? So I'm going to share. You can see the screen, you can hear me. Okay. So we are going to talk about data version control, what it means. So let's go through the slide first. So data version control is a system for tracking changes to data over time. I think አብዛኞቻችሁ ዳታ ፑሽ ካረጋችሁ እስካሁን ባለው ፕሮጀክት ዳታው if it's the data is a large amount git error ይፈጥራል አይደለ? large amount of above this megabyte ደርሷል so ፑሽ ማድረግ አትችሉም ብሎ so ዳታ ሴት መጠቀማችሁ ስለማይቀር አሁን ባላችሁበት ፓዝ እንዴት ነው ዳታውን ሃንድል ማድረግ የምችሉ ብለን ጊት ገደብ አለው የዳታ ገደብ እንዴት ነው ያን ዳታ አክሰስ የምናደርገው የጊትን ፑሽም አቮይድ የምናደርገው ስቲል ዳታ ኤኒ አማውንት ኦፍ ዳታ ሜጋባይት ይኖረው ወይም ጊጋባይት እንዴት ሴቭ ላድርገው ያን ዳታ ስቲል አክሰስ የሚሆን ጊት ማለት ነው so the DVC purpose is to solve that problem. It helps you to track any amount of data. It doesn't matter how large it is. It will find a place to store it and it helps you to track it, that data over time. So it allows you to see who made the changes to your data and so on, when they are made and why, where are they located. It gives you this kind of information. It's used to track changes to data sets, machine learning, so models, pipelines, all these algorithms or area that uses this data set for their purpose. It really helps for this to enable reproducibility and collaboration. It manages the data really well, so you can use it for different purposes. So it allows you to revert as well to the previous version of the data if necessary. If that's what you want, you can also using the DVC, you can revert back to your different version. You can track it through the commit that you're going to make, or that's the period of time. So if you have a time that a DVC data that you put 5 days ago or whatever time, you can go back to that version, revert back to that version, and access that data type. So key features of DVC, it integrates with Git. It uses the Git commands. It has its own command, but it's integrated with Git command for code and data management. It handles large files efficiently. It enables reproducible experiments, supports collaboration in ML projects, and data science projects with data. So it helps with that. Why should we use DVC? If you have large data sets that cannot be managed with Git alone, you should use DVC. If you want to, harder collaboration that happens between data handling. So at the end of the day, its purpose is to handle large data sets that cannot be handled with GitHub or GitLab alone. So benefits of DVC, it has data tracking, like it has, does file management, right? With Git like that, this focus on the data, it has data tracking, versioning, it has seamless integration with existing workflows. You can share it, collaborate it. There's a lot of functions you can do with it, with all your data. These are all the things that we just talked about, just with another word. To use DVC, so like you do when you use Git on your repository, the first command that you write is git init, right? Similar with DVC, you will just make DVC init. If there are any remote storages that where your data is located, you can access them through the DVC git command. If you want to add data or directories to the DVC after you have initialized it, you can use the DVC add and the DVC remote add. These are just the DVC commands. They have similarity with Git commands. It helps to create new storage location and set it as a default. So the D is for the default. And DVC push, DVC pull, DVC checkout, like the same way. They have the same concept as the Git push, the Git pull, and the Git checkout. So with this, when you are checking out to that particular data, either you are reverting to the previous data, it depends on which checkout you are making, but it returns that data or models to match that commit, that particular commit you made or that particular data. So it will revert to that commit, which means you get the particular data that was pushed through the commit. So best practices, like you would write your Git commit message correctly. You should have a clear commit message. You should use Git ignore wisely, since ensure large data files are managed by DVC, not Git. So you need to make sure that it's stay organized. These are just best practices you will follow both on DVC and Git. So we have talked about, so you might on your head might come up a question, then where did this particular data is saved? So if it's not pushed on GitHub to be saved on the Git platform, where is it pushed? Where is this Git DVC actually restores this data set? So if that's the question, you can store it in a lot of different ways. You can store it on your local machine, that data, or you can locate it on your Google Drive or your AWS bucket. It could be any storage device or tools that are out there, including your computer, your machine. You could store it anywhere. But wherever they are put it, the DVC helps you to track them down. So if you are putting it on your Google Drive has address right on the link. So if you have a particular file on Google Drive, you have the link that is there's hash string. If you see on your DVC, for example, see here, this particular file, this slide file has this hash address. So this hash address is only created for this particular slide file. Like that, for your folder or file where you decided to put your Git folder, you just need to grab this hash to provide the DVC. It always will get through the drive command this particular address and fetch that data for you. So where you put your data set, again, decided by you. Either you can decide to put it on your machine or on your drive or on AWS, whatever tool that you want. The DVC, what it does, it tracks them wherever they are. So that's how the DVC do the tracking, that the location where to put it is decided by you. So benefits, yeah, there's a lot of benefit notes. Unnecessarily put it on this slide, but it's fine. So let's just see the demo. So I have put all the commands that we're going to run to see how we can add a DVC file to your machine. So the local storage that we're going to use is our machine. So I'm going to store all the data sets on my laptop, on my machine. If you want to put it on your Google Drive, I have put a video. It's really a good video. I mean, I have learned myself the DVC concept through this video. There's this person that really explained DVC, so please watch this video. It's a full series. It has even mentioned deeper functionality of DVC other than the one that I'm going to show right now. So make sure to watch this video. It really is clear. So let's start with this. If it's not clear, I think it will be clear once we see the example. Okay, let's just create a new folder here. demo. Let's just say demo. It creates a data folder, and let's just pass one data. So you can take one of the data that you have used before. Just for the sake of simplicity, let me just rename it again. Yeah, let's just say meta. Let's see. Okay. You can follow these commands. So let's just first do git init. Okay, a question. Okay. Git init, then let's initialize the DVC. Then once we initialize it, we can click and see what it did. So like .git does sit with the initialization will create this in the git ignore file once you do the initialization. Then once you are done that, let's just make sure to add this meta.csv to our location. So first, let's just do git add. That customer thinks it's sorry, not okay, we added, we are tracking the data that we have. Okay, I have this here, a command problem. We need to add this DVC command. Sorry. This is a way like git add track your particular file or all the files. This is for DVC. Okay. I think it is because I did git add. It will start with that. So let's just remove the track that we made. This is, I think I forgot one command here. Okay, let me just save time. Okay, I will add it. I will add it. This is because I'm using different accounts on my slide. So after you you need to track the file with DVC add. Okay. Since once you have done this one, this is unnecessary that I did. It's because my mistake. I did git add. It was not the right command. Then after you did this, it will give you the track changes with the git ignore. So just copy this one and paste it back again. Now we are done. Now we need just to commit this part. So we're going to use git commit for this one. So commit, let's say our data set. You see it right? Now it created the .dvs file. So if I open this one, you see, it's not actually, the actual data is not found here. Right now, you see it put a metadata information about your CSV. So this is a hash for the meta CV. It will add the path. Right now, the path is indicated with the name. So the DVC know, by reading this, it will know what to do. So basically, it will put the metadata data information about your data and locate it like this. So the actual data is not being pushed by DVC, but the information about it is pushed here. So if there's a part of the data that will be put, so whenever you come back and ask it to pull that data in or whatever, it will just know what to do by reading this metadata. So it's actually not saving the data itself instead of its information, which makes it good for handling large data sets. Okay. Now we have done this. We need to actually locate. We have specified the metadata about our file. Now we need to specify a location. So like I said, I'm going to use my machine, my local storage machine, to save my CSV file. So let's go to my document file. So let me just create a new folder here to store my CSV files. Store. So let's just grab the path of the file. This is the path. Then to put your location so the device can access it. Like I said before, you use this command, which device remote at -d. This is a default, so I'm telling it the default variable to be the local storage. So if it is a remote, just do storage. It's because I'm using local storage. I will just say this. Then copy paste the path. Okay, now it's the local storage as the default remote. This is the path where it will be, where my data will be saved. So once we have done this, we need to git commit and DVS push the data. So if you click the data now here, it's empty. There's nothing. So we need to do git commits. You tracking the config information along the way. Now after this, just do DVC push. So if things are correct, it should save the file now. Yeah, it has saved the file. So it's renamed, it will give its own naming. So don't take that one. It will understand it. So it will save information like this. Now your data, if you have other data, it can do the same thing and store it on your local storage. So this is how you save your database. So if, for example, if you lose the metadata, this one, and if you want to, but you have this information is to be there, so the DVC can track. So let's remove some of the data that we just have right now, and yeah, let's just remove it and let's do git pull to see if actually, just by reading the metadata, if it can actually, pull the data. this, or the name was metadata. Yeah, remove this one. Then again, remove the cache file. There is a cache here inside the DVC. So let's remove that. Now the data is removed and everything is removed. So if you put git ignore, yeah, and the only information that our repo has is this information. So based on this, it should track where the data is located and put it back again. So if we get DVC pool, you see it, right? So just imagine this is the only thing that you saved on your GitHub repo that you pushed. You have this data information and you have the metadata information of your data like this, but you don't actually push the data because the data will be large, considered as large, and it's not pushed on your GitHub repo, but you have this information. So with DVC, if everything is correct, you should be able to pull the data through this metadata information. DVC should be able to grab it from anywhere, that's wherever location that you have decided to, the data set to be founded. So in our case, it's in the machine. So if I hit git pull, see, it grabbed it. So it goes to my local storage here through the information that it reads. It has its own ways of reading this, and it will grab it back again. So this is how DVC actually reads data and handle all this DVC concepts. So I think this is the demo how to revert back to previous and everything, so back to previous data storages. So once, like we did here, we are making git commit, right? So we are actually has a hash value of our history of commits. So you can check out to that particular commit hash and grab that particular data set that you want. So on how to do this, please watch the video. It has more functionality of DVC, how you can manipulate your data for different purpose. But this is the short description, I guess I can say that, of what DVC can do without having to push the actual data by putting the information. You can grab it, you can do whatever you want. All you have to do is just push that information with your GitHub and you can access it. Is that clear or confusing? Okay, it's clear for the strat. Would you maximize your screen? Sorry, Samacho. Hopefully you have seen it. Okay, is there any question or anyone who's confused by the concept of DVC? In my case, it comes from localhost because I decided to put the location of my data sets to be on my machine. That is a localhost machine. So once, if you delete your CSV from your repo, as long as you have that metadata information, it will locate it from the localhost. That is in my case though. But if you guys use Google Drive, which the YouTube video, they use Google Drive as sample to show how DVC work. If you use Google Drive, then it will grab it from Google Drive if you want that data. Oh, sorry. I should have started from that. Thank you, Abby. Yeah, you should install it with DVC. Okay, I'm gonna put on the slide or let me share again. pip install DVC is how you install it on your machine. So you have to do that first. Yeah, sorry about that. I should have started from there because there is, I'm not sure, yeah, this document of the state app here. Yeah. So I think pip install DVS should work for everyone. Yeah, it should probably work. Where is it? Oh, there are a lot of DVC commands here. All that yeah, here it is. This is the Google Drive command that you use. So you put like this, and on this one, in my case, it was my local route, right? But on this case, the visitor will need to be replaced by the hash key, like I showed you. So this particular hash, create the folder, and once be in that folder and grab this hash key from like this, and just put it here on that, copy paste like this one. Then it will directly store it to your Google Drive. So this is the command that you will use for the Google command installation here. Yeah, for MacOS, Windows, and so on. But pip install DVS should work for everyone. But you have this command and you can just simply install it. So follow this documentation as well. It has direct commands how to handle this. Can Streamlit dashboard work with this method without pushing the data like we did for week 0? So Streamlit dashboard, I don't think so. I mean, still Streamlit dashboard is to access the data, and I don't think they have a feature of DBS on their structure. Streamlit, check their documentation, but I don't think they have one. So they need to have the DVC tracking method attached with their syntax to be able to do that. But I haven't heard they have one. Maybe they have, I don't know, just check the current status on that one. I'm not sure I understand your question a bit. So it only works on your Python environment, not system level like Git. You still are accessing it through Git. I have used, if you see the Git add, the Git command, the Git commit commands to the, it's a combination of both. So maybe if you are asking, if you clone let's say, another repo that has a DVC attached to it, should I be able to access it only with Git? I think that's your question. Does it need Python environment? So yeah, that is yes is a simple answer. It will need Python environment to be set on your machine to access the DVC commands. Yeah. You can install it on your system without Python. I mean, for example, for my Mac laptop right now, I installed it through the Brew install Python. I mean, Brew install DVS. So depending on the installation format that they provide, maybe it might not be a requirement. They have also the Conda, the Mamba. So let's see for, yeah, it also can also be installed through the sudo for Linux. So I guess, yeah, it's not dependent on Python. It's a tool that you install on your machine by different ways. So as long as that tool is installed on your machine, you can be able to access it. Yeah, Stefan is just right. That means you can install the system. Yeah, system level like an app. It's a tool on your machine. Okay. Any other questions? So I'm going to take your silent as there are no more questions. Hopefully, as long as you understand the idea behind DVS, the rest is just commands that you should implement. It's going to be easy. Okay. Can I get the last reactions that you have no more questions? We're ready to move on. We strongly recommend creating a virtual environment or using VPX to complete. Always Python environment is the best recommended option. In any case, not only DBase. It really will save you from a lot of headache creating environment and installing any package. Yeah. That's just a general recommendation. Okay. Thank you for participating on the chat. Those who did, and thank you for listening. No more questions. Last reaction before I end it. Okay, Maspen.
Salam, no, please can you share this PPT on the drive?
Yes, I will. I will do it now.
Thank you.